Hey you! When we think of industrialization, we think about factories. What is in the factories? Of course, the assembly or production line. One of the inventions that boosted the economy tremendously, but which is a symbol of productivity, but as well of monotony. Let's have a look into its history. Before we start, I need your help. I already published a few videos, which are the first that I have ever made, and I'm still learning a lot about editing, voice recording, and how I can present these topics to give you better content. If you're interested in economics and economic history, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, give me some love in the comments, share this video, and also let me know in the comments below what other topics I should cover for you in upcoming videos. With that out of the way, let's go back to the video. Automatization and speeding up processes. These were the ideas of mass production, which allowed the modern industry. The idea behind it splitting up the assembly of a product in multiple single steps, and in each station just a few automated steps are done. The time between the single stations were speeded up to raise the productivity. And this works for every product and is still done nowadays, no matter if it's smartphones, cars or computers. You probably think of Henry Ford when it comes to the assembly line, but this process was already used before in the 19th century in Chicago. In the Union stockyards of Chicago, hundreds of thousands of people were dismembering thousands of animals, pigs, cattle, sheep. Dismantle the skin from the flesh, separate bones from waste. A normal butcher would work a whole day with his helpers to butcher a cow. In the meat factories of Chicago, it just took about 15 minutes. And this time advantage was of course an economic advantage as well. Instead of paying the butcher about $3, in the factory the cost were just about 42 cents. This industrial meat production is as effective as brutal. There were workers which did nothing else the whole day besides cutting the throat of an animal. Everything was optimized to use as little effort as possible to get the job done as fast as possible. But as the population in the US was tremendously rising between 1850 and 1900, the food industry needed to be more productive as well. Therefore, the industrialization of the butcheries was a logical consequence and helped to provide food for millions of people. Another factor was that most of the workers in these factories were not trained butchers, but simple people with low education. And as America had high numbers of immigrants, which often were not very specialized into their craft or well trained, was something to implement them into the working place. Frederick W. Taylor was bringing this concept to the production lines of the industry. As little as possible task, repeating them as fast as possible. The human shouldn't be in the center of the work. The system is the top priority. The so-called Taylorism found its way in many sectors of the industry. And especially Henry Ford used it for the production of his legendary Model T, which had a very low price for a car and therefore made it widely available for the people. With the specialization of a standardized model, it was possible to use machines effectively and in the end, cutting the price of the car in half within 6 years. But it was apparent that the work in the factories, under high pressure to keep up with the speed, had also downsides. The machines were able to hurt people badly, losing hands, fingers, or even their life. The running system is the top priority, not the human. One of the most famous criticisms of the assembly line is in the movie Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin. It was a great success in the movies. But many other books and reports exist how people were ruining themselves with this kind of work, like having sex during the night and not being able to do the work for longer than a few years. Nowadays, in a lot of industries, the human isn't even needed anymore on the production lines. Especially in the food industry, processes are completely automatized, or also in the car industry, a lot of parts are assembled by robots. In the factories where humans are still needed in the production, it is tried to have more of a group work, so the pressure is not just on one person, and also to change the processes so that the work is not too monotonous. In the end, the assembly line still helps to have the productivity of our economy up and produce products efficiently. Have you ever worked in a factory? What was your experience, and what do you think is needed to have a better work environment for us all? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like and also watch my other videos. And I'll see you in the next one.